Greetings and salutations in service to the one I am, Amber John Starr, practical mystic, energetic activist, and for over 34 years, master breathologist. Welcome back to my community. Well, a few things Source wants to talk about today. The main one is your shadow. And the name of this is Embracing Your Shadow. So, our shadows are the parts of ourselves that we've put into the subconscious mind, which has a lot to do with the body. So, all the times that we didn't think we were good enough, all the times we were told we weren't good enough, all the times we felt like we had missed the mark, all the times that we were told the horrifying things that some parents can tell their children and we took it in, the times that you feel like you've been the victim, all the times that you felt you couldn't express your feelings, excuse me, all the times that you were knowing you were right, but people were blaming you and shaming you. And most of the time, this happened when you were a child. So there was no recourse other than to really believe what you were being told. Now, most of the time, most parents, I would say most parents, haven't done their shadow work. So what they do if they don't do their shadow work is they pass it down to you. And until you do your shadow work, you will be run around by your subconscious mind and the wounds that you got when you were born and as a child and as you grew up, and those wounds that have not turned into scars yet are running the show. Anytime you react, anytime you have a reaction as opposed to a response to something, usually that is from the wound, and that's the shadow. We can call the negative ego the shadow because it is basically is the shadow. And one of the things about the shadow is that those are just parts of yourself that you have made wrong. Either you've made them wrong or someone else that you looked up to that was in authority made them wrong. And so you took that on as being the truth of who you are. And you are an embodiment of all that is, of love and light and all that is. Your soul comes from God. That spark of creation that created everything is also you. The ego is the personality. And that is formed, of course, by all of our beliefs and our ideas and our family lines and what's been passed down and on and on and on. But you are not that. You're not that. You are your soul's spark of all it is. So, coming from a soul's perspective, in order to move forward and up and out of here, we have to do our shadow work. It is tantamount as far as your soul's growth, as far as spiritual practice. Doing the shadow work is tantamount. So basically what we have to do is embrace our shadow. Embrace the parts of ourselves that we've put away, that we haven't believed, that we were told that was bad. And then, of course, when we do that, then that energy builds. And until you look at it and deal with it, it can build to the point of creating dis-ease in your physical body. Because the emotional body and the physical body are very much entwined with each other. So, make friends with your shadow. Write it down. Make a list. Make a list of all the things that you feel are wrong about yourself. all the things that you don't approve of yourself, all the things that you were told that were bad about yourself. Write all those things down and take a look at what is going on in your mind and in your subconscious mind, because most of the time people don't even think about what they believe or where they got their beliefs. Right now, the south node of the moon is in Sagittarius, which is about the guru, about the higher self, as far as finding that part within yourself, travel, also, the beliefs that you hold, what you have taken on from your line that wasn't you. Usually our beliefs are from our parents. That's where we start, and then we go to school and we get programmed that way, and then whatever nationality we are, we get programmed that way. It's a lot of programming, and right now the south node of the moon is in Sagittarius, and we are about to have a full moon in Gemini tomorrow night and into Sunday morning, depending on where you live in the world. And this is the last Gemini Sag placements for another 19 years as far as the south and north nodes of the moon are concerned. In 9 years they will flip, and the north node will be in Sagittarius and the south node will be in Gemini. But right now it's the opposite. So this is the time right now before this full moon, because this is the last of the moon's nodes in these two signs. They are going to be moving into Taurus and Scorpio in January. And whoa. Oh my goodness, there's so much on the horizon, and it's like, yikes. So the idea then, of course, is to take a look at what triggers you, what pisses you off, what makes you react. Because all the things that have been happening in our country and in our world usually are from people reacting. They're not from the response, they're from the reaction. And reaction is fear. It's fear-based. Response is love-based. However, you need to be in the moment with your love to respond. Otherwise, you get triggered and you react. So the idea now then is to look at that list and see what is really yours and what came down through the pipeline to you. And the parts that you feel, are all right, just someone else made them wrong, talk to those parts. There's a Gestalt Method, Fritz Perls, wonderful, wonderful. And that method is to sit in a chair, have another chair across from you that's empty, and for you to talk to your shadow and say everything that you want to say about your shadow and what you've discovered with the list that you made. And after you've said everything that you needed to say for your shadow, switch chairs and let your shadow talk to you. This sounds a little woo-woo, but really it is awesome, because you don't even know what's going to come through. You think you do. You think you have an idea of what's going to come through from your shadow. You can be totally shocked as to what the shadow is holding on to. And every time the shadow is rejected, it grows. So all of the things that made it a shadow in the first place grow. However, if you can approach your shadow as you are now, with love and light in your heart, and say to your shadow, I love you. You don't have to hide anymore. You don't have to be in the basement anymore. I want you to come into the light. I want you to come into the love that I have for you. I see what happened. I see that you took this on because your mom said something. Your dad didn't do something. Your sister and brother, treated you like crap. Your grandmother was like, what? No, you can't do that. Whatever. Your teachers, your friends. It all gets all in there, and it's a mess. And the shadow is not pretty, of course, because, it's a shadow. However, if you bring your attention and your focus and your breath to your shadow, then you can start having a dialogue. And you can see where some of these ideas about who you are and what you are doing wrong came from. And then you can talk. And you can talk to that shadow and say, shadow, I'm sorry that you felt that way and that happened to you. And you don't have to be a shadow anymore. You can come into the light and to the love now. You can do that. And I want you to do that. I want to embrace this part of you, because within the shadow, there are gems. There are gems for you to remember. Like for me, okay, I'll take me as an example. I came in as an empath. I came in super sensitive. I came in psychic. I could feel and tell what was going on in my family line with my mom, my grandmother, my sister, my brother, my aunts. I knew. I was raised in a you don't talk about it. You never talk about the elephant in the room. You never talk about the shit that's up to the ceiling from the elephant that's under the rug. You don't talk about anything that was, not okay. So, if anybody in your line did anything wrong, or they were mentally ill, or, heaven forbid, did something terrible, you couldn't talk about it. You just kept shoving it under the rug. And that rug was huge in my family. And of course, as a child, I'm feeling these things. I'm seeing these things. I'm hearing these things. And I'm told, no, you're not. My angels were talking to me at an early age. And if I had had a mother like me, then I probably would have, been out there in the world way more than I've ever been. But I was told no. I was told, no, you're not seeing that. No, you're not feeling that. No, you're not hearing that. No, you're wrong. So, of course, as a child, and my mom was, my only parent, so, of course, I believed her. Of course you do as a kid. What are you going to stand there and argue with your mom? No. You're not right. Well, maybe the new humans. Maybe the new humans are going to say, la, 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 la. No, Mom. No, Dad. This is the truth of what's really happening. I'd love to sit in on some of those conversations. So anyway, those feelings of being wrong, those feelings of not trusting what I was getting within my own intuition, within my own knowing, and not trusting that. And so here are all these gifts that I came in with, that I was born with. And I didn't really start, experiencing my gifts till my mid-30s. Basically, after I became a breathwork trainer, I started getting into all of the stuff that was going on in my emotional body. And of course, what's going on in your emotional body, a lot of that has to do with your shadow. So you want to, especially now, you want to embrace your shadow. You want to embrace the beliefs that have been running the show. It's a good thing to write them down and take a look in black and white what you really believe. Do you really believe there's anything wrong with somebody that's a different color than you? Or was that your parents and your grandparents? Do you really believe that, whatever you choose as your sexual preference is wrong? Or was that your parents and your grandparents? And who knows how much further back. Is it really you that thinks there's something wrong with people that don't have a buttload of money? Or were you raised that that's the only way you can, be accepted in this world is to have money? There's a lot of people that think that. There's a lot of people that think that money is the be-all and end-all and do anything and everything to get it. Selling their soul usually comes right at the top of the list. And that's not how it has to be. You can consciously go in and make this list and see what's what. And as you're making it, when you're done with it, you can say to your shadow, look, I see where all this came from. I see what you've been carrying. I apologize. I didn't even know. This is all subconscious. I didn't know. I just kept reacting to stuff that I didn't know why I was reacting that way. But if you take the time to go in and look and see where all this crapola came from, most of it isn't yours. Most of it has nothing to do with you, other than you were there at the time that, was being dumped on you. So embrace these parts of yourself. Embrace them and make them all right. They're not wrong. They're just aspects of yourself that have been fragmented off. While you're writing your list, breathe. Breathe the conscious holy breath. Breathe the full, deep, all the way to your root and up and through and then back in. Breathe. Constantly breathe. And as you're breathing and you're looking at your list, let those feelings come up and out. Get them out of there. So those feelings of guilt and shame and blame and rage and not good enough and all of the things that we tell ourselves that isn't okay. Those are the parts that we need to just say, you know what? I accept you. I see you. I love you. You're all right. And those elements will integrate into yourself so that you will not keep getting triggered by things, so that you will not react, so you will respond to things, so you will see yourself and others in a completely different light. Because of course we all have this. I mean, maybe the new humans in the last, 50 years don't, but we do. I do. I know my generation certainly does, the baby boomers, and, the greatest generation before them, which were the people that, our parents and grandparents. This has been going on for millennium. More than 1,000, more than 2,000, probably since humanity got here. But now you can do something different. You can embrace your shadow and say, give it the love that it wants. That's all it wants. That's all I think everybody wants is love. Because under the heading of love, you have all the wonderful feelings of acceptance and allowing and forgiveness and compassion and solidarity and sovereignty and friendship and family and, the things that joy that we want in our lives. And so usually the shadow has to deal with anything but all of those feelings. Fear-based, whatever it is. It's fear-based, or it wouldn't be shadow. Because, it's easy to love ourselves when we're feeling good and, oh yeah, I like that part, and oh, that part's great, and wow, what about that part? And then the parts that you're like, I don't want anybody to know about that. I don't want anybody to see that. That's in my own space. I don't show that unless you start reacting to things. And then you're showing everybody. You're showing the world. You're showing yourself. You're showing everybody that you're involved with. You're showing. So, if you want to move forward of course, you're going to have to look at your shadow at some point. Shadow work is very important for any spiritual practice. It's very important. It's crucial because you can only go so far until you stop, turn around, and take a good look at yourself and what you like and what you don't like. And usually the shadow work is about the things that you don't like. So, here's the time of the season for love and light to come in. Forgiveness and compassion and joy, family, friends. This is the season of that. This is the season of light. So take your light and your love and shine it on your shadow. And see what's there. And decide that, okay, this part I love and this part I just is not working. And so say to your shadow, okay, I see. Please, let's go forward together. Come into the light. Come into the love. And then you don't have to be in the dark anymore. You don't have to be the shadow anymore. Isn't that great? You can just be love and light, no shadow. Wow, what a concept. Well, I think that's, supposedly where we're heading. Fifth dimension is about that, as I spoke of in the last couple of videos. You can't take your shadow into the fifth. You can't take anything fear-based into the fifth. It's dissonance. It won't resonate. So now's a good time before the first of the year, and while everything's, astrologically going on. This is a very full week astrologically. So, and Venus and Pluto are about to do a 40-day dance with each other. Venus is just about to go retrograde, so she will go from the evening star to the morning star in 40 days. But she's co-joined with Pluto this time. Pluto rules Scorpio, which is death and rebirth. So, get prepared over the next 40 days that relationships are going to be primary. And also money, because Venus also rules money, because Venus rules Taurus, and Taurus rules money and material items and the material world. So your relationships and your money. Oh boy. Oh yay. Your two faves, right? So be gentle with yourself. Keep breathing the conscious holy breath. If you want any information about that, please drop a line. Like and subscribe and share. And leave a comment. You can go to my website, which is at the top of this page, and check it out. See if there's anything that you feel will be helpful for you, because that's my job here. I am to serve, and I have been since I got here, and I'm still continuing. So, thank you for your time and energy. Thanks for coming back and seeing me. I know I've been a little sporadic in the last several months. But, I am every day. I've been doing it. I think this is 13 days, maybe 2 weeks. I think it's 13, might be. Anyway, you keep going, I'll keep going, and we'll all keep going in the direction that we want. Okay? So, Om Namah Shivaya, In Lakach, Namaste, and El Kalimo. See you tomorrow, God willing. Bye for now.